Let's get some insight now from our Washington executive editor, Al Hunt. So, Al, economics aside, did the president get the politics of this positioning right today?
Well, he starts off on a high note as far as the politics are concerned. Margaret, the problem with the president all along has been follow-through. If you look at most of the proposals, taxing millionaires, a balanced approach between taxes and spending cuts, he has more popular support than the Republicans. Can he keep it up? Can he, or will their constant drumbeat about all he wants to do is taxes to death, will that prevail? He starts off with an advantage. Can he keep it?
Yeah. Does this make it any farther than the Rose Garden?
No, not much further. Look, it is conceivable, I think maybe a 20% shot that down the road, the super committee facing these incredibly draconian automatic cuts and not figuring out a way to finesse around them in areas like defense, that they'll have to try to cut some kind of a bargain and take a little bit of what Obama's proposed, a little bit of what they're proposing on entitlements and some other stuff and put together a package. But it's still unlikely at this stage.
Is this a new strategy by this White House to sort of come out first and try to set the tone of putting Republicans in a politically awkward position?
Well, it's a strategy, which they certainly lacked before. The White House line all along was we didn't embrace Bowles-Simpson. We didn't put out a specific budget and long-term deficit reduction plan because we knew that the Republicans would just cherry-pick the parts they liked and ignore the parts they didn't like, and it would put us at a disadvantage. That didn't work so well. So now what they're doing is they're laying down a marker. They're saying, here it is, enact it, and if you don't enact it, let's go to the voters with it.
Yeah. Al, we're expecting to hear from Treasury Secretary Geithner momentarily. He's been having a hard time on the international stage with, the European crisis and basically America's voice not really having the influence you might expect in terms of pushing them towards resolution. Are we losing impact on the global economy?
I'm afraid we are, in part because of what happened in our own economy in 07 and 08. I think it detracts a bit from the credibility. I think Geithner is a respected figure, but I think he has had minimal impact over there. And the Europeans certainly have more than their share of problems. And they're kind of saying, let us botch it up ourselves. We don't need your help.
Right. Now, I'm watching a live feed there of the Treasury Secretary being introduced to reporters in the White House briefing. What is he going to do today here, Al? Is he just going to lay out the how to pay for this deficit package?
Oh, I think the Secretary's focus is going to be entirely on the deficit package, why it's balanced, why it's economically sensible, why it's affordable, why it both meets the short-term goals and the long-term deficit reduction needs. That's what he's going to argue. Look, if you wanted to come up with a long-term budget solution, budget deficit reduction, whatever the merits of a millionaire's tax, for instance, that's not the way you do it. I mean, that's not you don't get much money there. It's not a systemic reform of the tax code, but it may be good politics.